G'day, this is Gary and welcome to the Random Yummy podcast. It's been a while since I've done this regularly. I did one last night, but tonight I'm sharing with you how I cooked a reverse seared bone-in ribeye steak with a rocket salad. So the ingredients are pretty easy and I had enough steak left over for lunches this week. I had a bone-in ribeye steak, which was 363 grams. It cost me $11.62 Australian dollars. That was about $32 a kilogram. I needed some salted butter, garlic, dried Italian herbs, rocket leaves, red onion, cherry tomatoes, lime juice, olive oil. Now, I started this last night when I started dry brining the steak on a rack in the refrigerator overnight. Basically, got the steak out, salted it all over, put it on a rack, stuck it in the refrigerator uncovered. What that does is that it dries out the surface of the steak, but it doesn't dry out the middle of the steak. You'd only do it overnight or maybe 48 hours in a pinch, but this method really gets the surface nice and dry, which makes searing the steak so much better. Now, for tonight's meal, I also wanted to have a garlic herb butter to baste the steak in, so I melted some butter with microwave radiation. I crushed a clove of garlic with my knife and then finely chopped it, added it to the melted butter along with some dried Italian herbs, whisked that up, and then put it into a little ramekin and let that solidify over a couple of hours this afternoon. When I was ready to cook my steak tonight, I pulled it out of the refrigerator. I allowed the oven to get to about 100 degrees Celsius. I inserted a meat thermometer into the steak and then I cooked it in the oven until the internal temperature reached about 45 degrees Celsius. Once it got to that temperature, I removed the steak from the oven, removed the meat thermometer, and then started heating up my cast iron skillet. And when it was really hot, I put the steak in and started turning it frequently. I don't like turning my steak just once. I reckon it gives a much better sear, and I think it also gives less risk of overcooking the steak if you turn it frequently. And while I was turning the steak, I added in the herb and garlic butter, and as it was melting, I used a spoon to baste the steak each time that I turned it over. And once the steak had a nice crusty sear, I removed it from the skillet and allowed it to rest. I put some rocket leaves into a mixing bowl, added some sliced red onion and some halved cherry tomatoes. I squirted in some olive oil and then squeezed half a lime to get the lime juice and mix that up into a nice green salad. Transferred the salad to a dinner plate, dissected away the spinalis dorsi muscle from the longissimus dorsi muscle, set aside the longissimus dorsi into a container for lunches, and that's in the refrigerator, and then sliced up the spinalis dorsi muscle and put it on top of the salad. I also had a homemade gravy. So yesterday I had a whole heap of leftover vegetables in the refrigerator, which were starting to go just a little bit soft. I figured I might as well try to do something with them, so I just put them into a frying pan, sauteed them off, got them until they were really soft, put that in the refrigerator, and then today I got a couple of scoops, put it into a container, put it in the food processor with some water, and then got it to a simmer, reduced it down, and then added a bit of a roux with some butter and some flour, and that was basically in the skillet after I'd cooked the steak, and that made sort of a thick gravy sort of thing. It was all right. It wasn't salty enough, and I could have probably made it a lot smoother. The one thing I did do with it once I had simmered it was to put it through a sieve to make it smooth, and it still turned out all right. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this meal. The show notes are over at randomyummy.com, where you'll see the recipe, you'll see some photos of the steak, and hopefully you'll enjoy seeing the outcome. And if you want to try making this, and if you do it and you're on social media, please let me know, send me a message, put a comment in the show notes, or let me know some other way. Anyway, thanks very much. I'll catch you later. Bye.